Today's story was written by Reddit user Vaughn1919. Trailer paced back and forth in their cell. It had been decided that the crew in each pod would be placed in a cell due to a lack of space. Since their capture 3 days ago, they had received all the amenities Grenak said they would under human rules of war. Still though, Trailer didn't like the situation. Every day a few prisoners would be escorted from their cell for what was undoubtedly interrogation. Yesterday, Grenak went and returned not long after. "Excuse me, Miss Trailer, follow us." Trailer jumped slightly as a human marine spoke, practically appearing from nowhere. The cell door opened, Trailer stepped out tentatively, and began to walk in between the human marines. They left the brig and continued down the hall, and as they went, she began to hear a strange sound. The further they went, the louder it got. At first, she believed that it was a torture device, but it sounded so surreal and elegant. Finally, at the sound's peak, she took a risk and stopped, gazing around until her eyes fell upon a room labelled Mess Hall. Inside, she could see Captain Rodney holding something made of wood and drawing another piece of wood against it. The others in the room either sat and listened or moved around in a rhythmic fashion with each other. A soft chuckle brought her out of her observation. "I know that you want to listen more, but we need to keep moving," the marine behind her said in a feminine voice. Trailer glanced at the marine and clearly saw that yes, the marine was a human female, judging by the shape of the body anyway. She turned back around the hall and continued, noticing the sound disappear slowly and finding herself strangely missing it. Finally, they reached their destination, a room that was labelled Ship Counselor. The door opened and the marine in front of her motioned for her to step inside. When she did, her eyes fell upon a human wearing simple clothing holding a clipboard. Their skin was a dark brown, and he had black fur on his head and face. "Hello, my name is Dr. Henry Whitkins, and you must be Agent Trailer of the Coalition Criminal Investigation Service, correct?" he asked, offering her a seat across from him. "We managed to download a full crew manifest from the life pods," he stated nonchalantly while taking his own seat. "Now, first and foremost, do you own any slaves whatsoever?" "No, slaves are only for the immensely rich and powerful," she replied. "All right. Now, has anyone apart from this ship's crew mistreated you or others?" he asked simply. Trailer thought for a moment before replying. "No, as far as I can tell, we have been treated well." "Next question. Is there anything that you are lacking?" he continued. "No, though it would be nice to have more room to move around and exercise," Trailer stated. "I will bring it up with the captain, but I cannot promise anything," he declared. "Now, for the final question. Do you have any questions?" Trailer thought for a moment. She had many, but didn't want to upset Dr. Henry with a few of them. "Okay, first, where are you taking us? Second is what you plan on doing with us. And finally is what was the captain doing in the mess hall, and how was he making that sound?" The first and second questions were practical. The last was to satisfy her curiosity. Before Henry could reply, a female voice filled the room. "Dr. Henry, have you seen Calvin? He was supposed to meet me at the mess hall," she asked. Henry rolled his eyes with a soft smile before pressing a button on his desk. "No, Irene, I haven't, though I'm willing to bet that he is just running late or got caught up in some work. Honestly, I kinda feel bad for him being press-ganged by you so much," he finished with a chuckle. "I do not press-gang him. He owes me a dance." "Wait, I see him coming down the hall. Bye," Irene declared. "Lord help that boy," Henry said with a hearty laugh, before turning back to a confused Trailer. "The answer to your first question is confidential, but you'll find out in a few days. The answer to the second is what we will offer your return in exchange for an equal number of our fellow humans, as well as that of your fellow crew. The answer to your last two questions is pretty simple. Rodney was performing a little concert for the off-duty crew and was playing his violin. The man has great skill in it, especially for swing music, he explained. The rest of the interview went along without much issue, and Twyla was escorted back to her cell. On her way back, she did manage to listen to the captain play his violin. When she chanced to glance inside, she caught a glimpse of the Marine leader, Calvin, nervously dancing with a young human female with short black fur, who looked ecstatic. Upon her return to the cell, Greenock approached her. "So, how did it go with Dr. Henry?" he asked. "Well, I learned a bit about our captors, especially from the captain and his cousin, but none of it is relevant or useful in our situation, besides the fact that they plan to exchange us for humans that are enslaved," she explained. Well, at least it went relatively well then," he said, and walked back to where he had been sitting. Twyla just turned around and tried to listen for the entrancing sound of the violin again, but she couldn't hear it.